Welcome to Spotlight. I'm Edjuenka, and we have a packed show for you this evening. Of course, we have Brother Sean Rose updating us with the top stories that's making news this week. Also, I have engineer turned fisherman, Mr. Ashton McCall, who's been a long-time fisherman as well as a member of a cooperative. Now, we've been hearing a lot about cooperatives from various sources, from some fishermen, from the Minister of Natural Resources and Labor regarding the development of fishing as a third economic pillar. And it dawned on me, and I'm wondering how many of us know what a cooperative is. Well, we're going to find that out this evening because Mr. McCall is going to tell us what a cooperative is and how it works as a long-time member of a cooperative in another country himself. So that's going to be interesting. Also, I have some very important guests that I know that you're going to want to interact with. The chairman of the BVI Health Services Authority, Mr. John I. Klein, is going to be with us, along with the Chief Executive Officer, Mrs. Darlene Carty-Baptiste. She's going to be here. They're going to be talking about the new developments in the Health Services Authority, the new health ID card, the rates are going to go up, the new fee schedule, the relationship between the Health Service Authority here and HEMA, which is another health partner overseas, staff morale, customer service and customer satisfaction, leadership and management in the Health Service Authority, as well as the transition process from People's Hospital, existing People's Hospital building, to the new spanking brand new hospital. So there's going to be a lot of interesting information, and we have with us as well Director of the Health Service Authority's Social Services Department, Mrs. Marion Turnbull. Social Services Week is coming up. We're going to be talking about the activities. We're going to talk about the social services that the health services provide. Many of us probably don't know about the health services provision of social services for persons that require those services. So a lot of information. It's going to be a really, really interesting show. So call all your friends. Of course, if you don't have a television set, you can check us out live at jtvlive.net as well. But of course, let's go to Sean Rose and hear what he's talking about regarding the top stories making the news this week. Sean?
Good evening, Edjuenka. Good evening, viewers. This week we'll focus on one particular story, and it's also sea-related. The bubbly pool Jos Van Dyke is closed until further notice. The Ministry of Natural Resources and Labor and the Conservation and Fisheries Department issued an advisory today calling on the public to keep away from the bubbly pool area because they have deemed the waters there unsafe for swimming due to high surge or ground swells in the area. And the public is advised to exercise extreme caution at all the shorelines here in the Virgin Islands while the territory is being pounded literally on the shorelines by these high surge.
Yeah, well, Sean, let me interrupt you for a minute there. I thought we had a system where, a warning system, where we say to visitors and everyone, it's not good to go swimming today. The surf is too high. The ground sea is too high. It's not. Or you go swimming today with caution. Or it's good to go swimming today. Then we have those. Like it's yellow, red, and green flag warning things. Well, what happened to those?
Yes, they are, and in fact, they are in effect. In relation to, while I'm not so sure what was the case at the bubbly pool, I know, for instance, there was a similar situation on Saturday as well at the Barks Virgin Gorda, and the red flags were being flown, they were hoisted. There were also signage on the beach itself advising visitors not to go into the waters because of the high surge. Yet still, some decided to brave the seas and took the plunge. And in one case, a gentleman almost lost his life, and he had to be rescued. Now, despite the signage, despite the red flag, And this happens also when it's jellyfish season. When the purple flag is being flown, they still decide to go into the water.
So people are disobeying the signs and going into water at their own risk, and we've been having some serious strategies.
That's right. One can argue
as a result.
that maybe they may not see the flag when it's hoisted, but they surely can't miss the advisories coming from the fisheries folks, the conservation and fisheries officers who work at some of these parks, the national parks officers, I should say, and also the signage on the ground that is pretty much in eye level.
How many persons have lost their lives now over the last several days? Because it seems like almost every other day now you're hearing about someone losing their life or some incident involving, or some accident I should say, involving the water and tourists.
Though not all drowning related. Some nine people have lost their lives in the territory so far for the year. And in fact, in many cases, these are incidents that could have been avoided. Let's look, for instance, at the one at the Bubbly Pool over the weekend. The gentleman who jumped in the water to assist his friend and was later assisted by another gentleman lost his life. But the person whose life they went to try and save, he escaped unharmed. And the other person who tried to help the 34-year-old who is now deceased, Jonathan Wheeler of Texas, USA, he also sustained injuries, and he's currently at Peebles Hospital receiving treatment. And
that is certainly really sad. Have you heard the Minister of Natural Resources or the Conservation and Fisheries Department, or anyone in official capacity talking about the need for lifeguards? What is going to happen with that?
And I can't say that I have. I'm not saying that they haven't, but these incidents, they certainly point to the need for closer attention to be paid at having lifeguards operating at some of these, at least the popular sites, the baths, maybe the Bubbly Pool, and some other locations, to ensure that the vital officials who are out at sea have some on-the-ground, on-shore support to help to police and prevent some of these incidents from happening.
Well, I'm sure you're going to have more details of these top stories coming up on JTV News, so we're going to be looking forward to those stories. I want to thank you very much for this introduction to the top stories making the news this week. Thanks a lot.
Pleasure being here.
Yes.
Have a great one.
Good. We're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors, and when I come back, I'm going to have with me Mr. Ashton McCall. He's an engineer by trade, but a fisherman by choice, and he's been a member of a cooperative in other places that he's been, and I'm hoping to get from him an understanding and give you an understanding of what a cooperative is, how that really works, what the benefits are, how membership works, and if there's any drawbacks, so we can get a good understanding of what the minister is talking about and others when they talk about having cooperatives as regard to fishing becoming a third economic pillar. Keep it locked right here, the Spotlight. We are going to be right back after these words from our sponsors.
One step to paradise.
This program is sponsored by the law firm of J.S. Archibald & Co. and by the trust company J.S. Archibald Trust Services Limited, both of Roadtown, Tortola, BVI.
Calling all CCT Internet customers. Did you know if you have CCT Internet service including internet on your phone, you can connect to CCT's 4G Wi-Fi service free of charge. That means you can enjoy unlimited high-speed CCT Wi-Fi on any Wi-Fi device. Browse the web, check your mail, stay connected to any of CCT BVI's hotspots for free. Call CCT today and request your exclusive CCT Wi-Fi username and password and join the CCT Wi-Fi network. CCT, the home of unlimited.
It's fast, it's reliable, it's Bolo's full-color high-tech printery. For on-time production of your funeral booklets, graphic designs, CD covers, and complete wedding packages. Bolo's high-tech printery. Need your banners, brochures, posters, flyers, business cards, and stationery in a hurry? It's Bolo's high-tech printery. Whatever your printing or paper supply needs, no job is too big or too small. At Bolo's full-color high-tech printery, we don't just promise great quality, we put it on paper. Visit Bolo's Full Color High Tech Printery in Vanderpool's Plaza or call us at 494-3641.
Choosing a college education is one of the most important decisions that you will ever make. A college degree or certification opens doors to greater opportunities that will improve the quality of life for you and your family. The greater the investment made in education, the greater the returns. I am Charlita Millington, Regulator of Investments and Securities Business, and a proud graduate of the H. Laverty Stout Community College. A leader in higher education which aids in the improvement of life, a vibrant economy, and nation building. Any educational institution is best judged by its graduates. And the H. Laverty Stout Community College is committed to the development of the human resources of these Virgin Islands and the region. Now, because of HLSCC, I am making a difference.
Remember, at HLSCC, your tomorrow begins today.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce my next guest, Mr. Ashton McCall, who is an engineer and has graciously agreed to come on Spotlight to talk about fishing cooperative as a fisherman as well. Mr. McCall, it's really great to have you on Spotlight. Thanks very much for coming. It's good to see you.
It's good that you invited me because it's a subject that I really wanted to talk about, to explain it over the years. Lots of years I've been trying in the BVI, but nobody paid much attention.
Well, hopefully we're going to get some attention tonight. First of all, can you start off by telling me what is a cooperative? What does that mean when you say a cooperative?
Well, a cooperative is a number of people who get together and form this corporation, whether it's in farming, fishing, anything. It depends. You can have a cooperative in the cocoa plantation, the coffee plantation, but this one we're discussing is in fishing. How I got involved with this corporation, this was back in the early 50s, like 51, 52. And we had a village on the north coast of Trinidad, Matlot. Yeah, part of it named Settlement, and the entire village people, all the people, we decided to form a fishing cooperative because most of what the people used to do in that part of the island is coffee, cocoa, and fishing. And who wants to do a little bit of lumberjacking, they can also do that. I once get involved in that too.
So this was a decision by the village,
by the village people,
to come together, and what did they agreed to certain things, or how did they come together, and what did they sign up to?
Well, they come together because fishing during that area was like a season. You have a season during the time, like what we call ground sea down here. They do have that up there. And rough too. Well, we decided to form this corporation, and if you will work it out, special shares and things like that. Whether back in our days, a share was probably about $45. TT dollars. That was when the TT dollar was stronger.
So each member of the community had to put in some money up front?
Up front.
Okay.
And if you want to put on 2 shares, 4 shares, 5 shares, or whatever, you don't necessarily have to be a fisherman. You could be a business person in the village with, say, a grocery business, regular business. And the person who have the business, like a shop, a grocery, whatever you want to call it, will he wants to get involved, put up the shares, and they will get involved with a boat and say, you don't have the money to buy a boat, but you can fish. And he will invest in that boat and give you the boat to fish. It's not to say like fish trapping. This is actually deep sea fishing.
So like what we call in pelagic fishing.
Right. Deep sea fishing. Anyhow, when...
So you had different investors.
Oh yes.
In the cooperative.
Yeah, nearly everybody in the village could be an investor.
And you don't have to fish. You could just invest and get a return on your money for
Yes.
part of the investment.
Yes.
So you had some laws and rules
Yes.
set up governing that.
Yes. Well, it had nothing to do with government.
Oh, okay.
Nothing to do with government. I think the only thing the government ever assists in is building what we call an ice house, a place to store your fish.
So the government would help with building some infrastructure that the fishermen would need.
Yeah, that's all the government do. But all the fishermen or all the investors would get together and they decide what they want. They need a truck. They need a manager. And maybe 2 or 3 people otherwise to work with the manager.
Secretary to keep the books, to keep the...
Well, not say somebody have to keep the books, yes.
Yeah,
but most of it is when the fisherman comes in, you go out and you fish every day. And every fish that you bring in has a price. All fish don't sell for the same price. Every fish has a price.
And who determined what the price of the fish was?
Well, the cooperation decided what we're going to
sell the fish for.
At the depot, as it land. And okay, for instance, say we're coming with redfish, we call snappers, kingfish, what we call mackerel, up there they call it carite. But any fish that comes in, you can sell it, because in Trinidad there is no trace of ciguatera poisoning, nothing at all. Anything, every fish has a price.
So when you come in with your fish now, the cooperative decide how much they're going to pay the fishermen, and they also decide how much they're going to sell to the public for.
Yes, the fisherman already know before he goes out what price he's going to get for his fish.
And the fisherman along with the co-op all agree together on the price, what he's going to get, and the price what the fish is going to be sold for.
Well, he don't actually know what the fish going to be sold for, because it leaves at the state of the market. Someday the market is not very good, and someday it's a little lower. But the area in which we used to fish, our fish used to be what you call classic. We get the best price. We had from Blanchisseuse to Galera. Galera is the lighthouse in Toco. Blanchisseuse across to Tobago. Whenever those fish come in the market, fish from the southern part of Trinidad has to wait until those fish finish, because the water in which those fish are being caught is more like our water. You get fish from the southern coast.
So they were the better kind of fish?
Better kind of fish.
So you sell the better kind of fish first, and then you sell the other kind after?
Right. Anyhow, like I said, the fisherman knows exactly what price he's going to get for his fish even before he goes out. And this is determined by the corporation. Now, after the fisherman land the fish, as he land the fish, he gets his money.
The corporation pays him?
Pays him right there and then. And the manager and his crew takes care of the fish. They ice them, prepare them, and have them ready for when they decide to go on the market. Maybe they might go on the market maybe 2 or 3 times a week. It's not every day you leave to go and sell.
Okay. Now the fisherman, the fisherman was also a part of the corporation.
Yes.
He had invested in
Yes.
the corporation as well.
Yes.
So did he get a percentage of what the fish was sold for at the market?
You come to that.
Okay.
We'll come to that. Okay, the manager who goes to sell the fish. Say for instance, let's say we're getting 25 cents a pound for this fish. Maybe 30 cents for the next fish, depends on the quality. When the manager goes to market for his fish that he paid 25 cents a pound, he probably tried to get 65, 70 cents or more.
Right.
Right. Sometimes you might get close to $1. It depends on the market and the quality of fish. Then every fish, whether it's from shark right down, like I said, there is no ciguatera poisoning in none of the fish you get around the coast of Trinidad. So everything had its own.
And it had a different price.
Right.
But what I'm trying to find out, and just so we don't run out of time, is whether the fisherman got a price for the fish that he brought in, but he also got a cut of what the fish was sold for.
Yes, I'll come to that.
Yeah, but okay. So that's the fish.
The corporation is the fisherman, belongs to the fisherman.
Okay, the corporation.
It has nothing to do with government.
Okay. So I think that's what I need to make that clear.
Nothing to do with government.
Now, forgive me for rushing you, but I want to get there's so many things that we have to get in, right? So the fisherman he get paid for his fish, plus he gets a cut of what the fish is sold for, and that is based on how much he invested, or how does that work?
No. Let me tell you how it works.
Okay.
The fishermen, every man who is entitled to land their fish. You're a businessman and you invest in a boat, and I use your boat with the next fellow. This boat has 3 shares, one for the boat, one for me, one for the next person. That's 3 of us.
Okay.
So you are the businessman. The boat brings in 300 pounds of fish. 100 pounds is yours, 100 pounds is mine, 100 pounds is the next person. And that is being sold. The businessman gets his money the same way, just like the fisherman. And it's recorded there. At the end of the season, if this boat brings in 5,000 pounds of fish for the season, for argument's sake, that 5,000 pounds is divided up into the 3 parties. And when the money is being paid for selling the fish, for what the manager gets for the fish on the market, every member in that corporation has a share in that profit.
And they get according to their share.
Right, yeah. And every pound of fish that they land, if when the season is over, a portion of money comes out to keep the corporation.
So you got to pay the manager, you got to pay the secretaries, the bookkeepers,
whatever it is. What it costs to do that.
Whatever the cost of business is, that money have to come out for that.
Yes. And that stays there for the next season. I mean, they get there, each person get their salary, but the profit, a portion of the profit goes for the next season, stays there to keep the system going, the trucks and everything going. And what's left over, if there's enough left over for each fisherman who land their fish, could possibly get an additional 5 cents or 10 cents a pound, whatever it is.
Whatever's left over, you divide among the cooperative members.
Yeah. Every person who's a member get their portion according to the amount of fish they land.
Okay, let's talk about the benefits now. What is the benefits? Yes, of course, you get your money right away. You have an organization that help you sell the fish. But what are some of the other benefits of being a member of a cooperative?
Well, you already, well, like when I left to come back to Port of Spain, and I got in the merchant service and decided I'd travel the world. Before I left there, they used to ask me if I'm going to take out my money. I said, no, leave it. Stay there, keep me as a member.
So you continue to invest. Your money is being invested all the time.
Like even up to now, I'm talking about over 60 years.
So you have an investment going there, so you could go there now and collect your investment if you want to.
Yeah, if there's and
it's almost like a retirement fund.
Yeah. Well, I said leave it there because I'll come back one day, and I always have it in mind because it's fun. And I get along with that area with everybody because there I was able to do the fishing, do my lumberjacking, and make money out of my life. That's why I left Port of Spain. Because Port of Spain, I was working for $1.00 a day.
And you use the fishing and the lumberjacking to help to augment your salary?
Right.
Yeah. Now, with your investment remaining in the cooperative, can you pass that on to your children, let's say, or to somebody else?
I really never inquire about it, you know.
Okay.
I never inquire about it.
You just left it there. Now, when it comes to things like purchasing supplies, for example, if you say, for example, you're talking about pelagic fishing, deep sea fishing, but if we were talking, say, about fish trapping, using fish traps or fish pots as we call them, you would have to buy the material to make the traps.
Yes.
You would have to buy the bait to put in the traps. You would have to buy the buoy, the ropes, and you have to buy gas to put in the boats.
Yeah.
Does a cooperative help in that, is a benefit in that sense that because it's so many of you buying the same thing at the same time, you get a cheaper rate?
Well, yes, because what the cooperative used to do, the line of tackling that we use, the cooperative used to buy it and sell it to the fishermen at a much better price than they have to leave from Matlock to Port of Spain is at least 75 miles or more. So when you have to pay for that kind of transportation to go into Port of Spain, they ask the fishermen what type of line, because back in those days it didn't have much nylon. What they used to use is bronze wire, special bronze wire for fishing the bronze. It used to stretch even like the nylon too. And they would go for a merchant and they ask them to import these, and they have the grade 24, 26 or whatever grade you want, and they'll come and keep it there and they'll sell it to you, the fisherman, at a reasonable price, but so that it's the same fisherman money they're using so that it makes a little profit. So everything that they sell to the fishermen, it must make a little profit for the corporation.
So let me, just to clear it up, because we fall on the tyranny of the clock. The time does fly when when you have a lot of things to talk about. But there's already 8:30, and so we soon have to go. But this is an important point you just made there that I want to clarify. So the needs of the fishermen of the village. So you have a list of things, for example, that you need. You need line, you need rope, you need hooks, you need sinker, you need wire for traps, you need wood. Whatever you need, the cooperative, the corporation would have a list of those things, and they would buy it in a large quantity for all of the members of the cooperative. And because there were so many members, you were able to buy it at a wholesale rate at a cheaper price, so that your cost of doing business becomes less. So that was a major benefit of the cooperative in your estimation.
Yeah, that's part of it. And because the cooperative, spending that money, they make a profit that goes to the cooperative.
Right. So you had a stable organization that was taking care of the management of the industry, while you do the fishing, and you could do business at at a cheaper cost,
Yeah.
make a better profit, and still keep the prices reasonable.
Yes.
So in your view, the cooperative was an excellent idea.
Yeah. Well, and at the same time, the type of fishing that we used to do on the North Coast never involved anything like fish traps. The only thing might involve in it is like what we call the seine fishing. See, so if you certain time of the year the fish comes in on the beaches and you could round them, and whoever on that they bring in the fish and it goes to the corporation just like, because they are members of the corporation. You see?
Yes.
They're members of the corporation.
You think that this system could work in the BVI because it's being talked about a lot.
Well, I know they've been talking about it for years, but nobody will listen. Like I explained it to you, even back in Let Some Days, I tried to explain it to him vaguely, and before he get any, first thing he said, it's not going to work here.
Well, now you have Dr. Pickering now, the Minister of Natural Resources and Labor, talking about it again. I heard him mention it several times in the news, talking about it again. You think that you think that it could work now at this particular stage? Because that when you're talking about it, Mr. Nelson, was a long time ago.
Yes, yes.
But now that we come into this point now where there seems to be the will to really get this thing going, you think that the BVI fishermen, fisher folk would be amenable, would want to really engage in this type of relationship, this type of one hand wash the other kind of operation?
I think we still have a little problem there. When I look at it, knowing I live in Tortola for over 52 years, and I know Tortola, and I know the people. And the people are accustomed doing it for themselves. And they are very proud people. I for me and you for you. For especially fishermen. Fishermen like to go out and fish, and as they reach the shore, they know people want fish, that people come and buy their fish. To set up the cooperative to, if you don't have something like what I say, as you fish land, you get your money. Fishermen don't want to wait on nobody for the money.
So if we got to go now. So if that one particular point there, I think is the important point. If fishermen knew that when they come into the wharf with their fishing, they come to the cooperative, that they were going to get a check and they had shares and they were going to get a check for what they brought in, plus a check for what was sold, a portion of what was sold, you think it'll be a beautiful thing?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
But it's to get it going.
To get it going, and the getting it going is having the infrastructure, like you said. In the village you talked about, they had a storage, and they had a building, and the government had to provide that. So the government will have to provide some of the investment, and the fishermen will have to provide some of the investment.
Well, most of the investment is the fishermen.
The fishermen.
It's like setting up an ice house in Anegada. Because you had Matlot has one, Toko has one, Blanchisseries has one, and you were talking about between Blanchisseries and Toko, you were talking about at least 60 or 70 miles.
But we ain't that big.
No.
So we only need a couple. Yeah.
And I spent quite a few years there, and I enjoyed it.
And you think you're confident they could walk here with that same kind of system?
Yes, if the people could bring themselves together. But what happened? We have a lot of people who call themselves fishermen, who are not fishermen, and who some of them living after other fishermen.
So the
indigenous fishermen here, I could nearly count them on my hand. Between Virgin Gorda, Jocelyn Dyke, and Tortola. But you have a lot more other fishermen.
What we call it piracy. Piracy is a big problem among some fishermen here in the territory that need to get straightened out.
Right.
And hopefully the cooperative would be able to straighten some.
Too many people who don't invest in fishing have fishing license.
Too many people who don't invest in fishing have fishing license.
Right.
Mr. McCarr, thank you very much for coming. It was a real pleasure, and you've been a tremendous help, and I really appreciate it. We have to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to come back with Mr. John Klein, chairman of the BVI Health Service Authority, and Mrs. Darlene Cathy Baptiste, Chief Executive Officer, to talk about all of the new developments in the Health Service Authority. Don't go, we will be right back after these words from our sponsors.
This program is sponsored by the law firm of J.S. Archibald & Co. and by the trust company J.S. Archibald Trust Services Limited, both of Rotown, Tortola, BVI.
Calling all CCT Internet customers. Did you know if you have CCT Internet service including internet on your phone, you can connect to CCT's 4G Wi-Fi service free of charge. That means you can enjoy unlimited high-speed CCT Wi-Fi on any Wi-Fi device. Browse the web, check your mail, stay connected to any of CCT BVI's hotspots for free. Call CCT today and request your exclusive CCT Wi-Fi username and password and join the CCT Wi-Fi network. CCT, the home of unlimited.
Your car will love Virgin Island Motors' newly expanded, large, and more spacious, well-stocked automotive supply store. All your automotive parts and supplies under one roof. Get your cleaners, degreasers, refrigerants, solvents, thinners, tints, floor mats, wiper blades, seat covers, and much, much more. Everything you need to keep your car running smooth and looking new. Virgin Island Motors remain the home of the world-famous quality AC Delco parts. And when you and your loved ones are riding, make sure you're riding on Goodyear and Cooper tires. The sturdiest Duracell AGM marine batteries are now in stock at Virgin Island Motors. Virgin Island Motors, everything you need for a smooth ride.
It's fast, it's reliable, it's Bolo's full-color high-tech printery. For on-time production of your funeral booklets, graphic designs, CD covers, and complete wedding packages. Bolo's high-tech printery. Need your banners, brochures, posters, flyers, business cards, and stationery in a hurry? It's Bolo's high-tech printery. Whatever your printing or paper supply needs, no job is too big or too small. At Bolo's full-color high-tech printery, we don't just promise great quality, we put it on paper. Visit Bolo's full-color high-tech printery in Vanderpool's Plaza or call us at 494-3641.
Pastor, where you are? It's a conversation. It's not gonna be like quick. Just to answer that.
Okay.
You know, you add, and we talking about the way the direction of the Health Service Authority, particularly regarding new developments like health insurance, the fee schedule, the what's the name of that thing?
The health information system.
Health information system. Thank you. What does HIMA? What does HIMA mean? Huh? Isn't that an acronym? Isn't that an acronym?
No job is too big or too small. At Bolo's full-color high-tech printery, we don't just promise great quality, we put it on paper. Visit Bolo's full-color high-tech printery in Vanderpool's Plaza or call us at 494-3641.
Choosing a college education is one of the most important decisions that you will ever make. A college degree or certification opens doors to greater opportunities that will improve the quality of life for you and your family. The greater the investment made in education, the greater the returns. I am Charlita Millington, Regulator of Investments and Securities Business, and a proud graduate of the H. Laverty Stout Community College. A leader in higher education which aids in the improvement of life, a vibrant economy, and nation building. Any educational institution is best judged by its graduates. And the H. Laverty Stout Community College is committed to the development of the human resources of these Virgin Islands and the region. Now, because of HLSCC, I am making a difference.
Remember, at HLSCC, your tomorrow begins today.
Welcome back to Spotlight on Medjuenka, and I'm here with Pastor John Klein.
That's right.
Mr. John Klein in this capacity, but pastor, obviously pastor to me, the chairman of the Health Service Authority Board, and Mrs. Darlene Kati Baptiste. She's the new Chief Executive Officer. Welcome to Spotlight. It's good to have you both.
It's good to be here, Carmel.
Yes, good to see you. A lot going on in Health Service Authority. Big moves, big changes.
Definitely.
In light of the National Health Insurance coming on line, you're talking about a new building coming online. What's the vision? How is our health services looking? What is it going to look like in the BVI in the next couple of years?
Well, we hope that it would look like a healthcare services that you can see anywhere around the world, of a great standard, delivering a quality service. And I know these are broad strokes, but our endeavor is to upgrade healthcare on all levels. So the effort to modernize the system in terms of a health information system computerized, the efforts to form partnerships to expand our the services that we offer and the specialties that we can offer on the ground, our efforts to equip the new hospital with the services needed to serve the community. You mentioned, or you hear a lot about the health insurance, even though that's not directly under our purview. It's more under the ministry and Social Security. We hope that we benefit from it, and the community as a whole benefits largely from it. Even though it's creating some confusions in people's head, I think it will be a good thing once it's managed properly.
Certainly it's going to impact the health services authority and the services that you're providing.
Yes.
Now, speaking of that, the National Health Insurance Plan or scheme or initiative, the fees, you're getting a new fee schedule.
Yes, we have proposed a new fee schedule to the minister, and of course the forward to cabinet and subsequently onto the House.
And basically a new fee schedule is a code phrase for prices going up.
Well, yes. In our the health expenditure, there is an associated cost. Healthcare there is associated cost because somebody has to pay for it. But in light of what we're trying to do within the Health Services Authority, we actually want to keep on par with the expenditures. We have gone to community meetings and told everyone that we know are going to give us a list in the air what is owed to the authority, and in that means we cannot move forward. So we actually have to keep in line with our revenues and expenditures as close as possible so we could provide that optimum care that's required by the people of the BVI.
And the way to do that is to make sure that your deliverables are being valued at the right cost.
Right, and you recoup as close to expenditure as possible.
Yeah, and Carmel, one of the things that the people may not know in the BVI is that fees in the health services in the BVI has not probably been upgraded since the 60s or somewhere there.
Yeah, like $25 a bed.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
$25 a bed, not for a bed, $25 a night for a 24-hour nurse for 3 meals a day,
yes,
plus the bed and everything else that go along with that.
Just visit.
And it's just not sustainable. And if we expect government to continue to subsidize that, then the quality will continue to remain at a substandard level. If we can't raise revenue to deliver the service that's necessary. So, and because we can't do that, people go off island and pay more. Whereas if we can charge something a little more reasonable and in line with the cost of delivery of service, then we can
deliver that service.
We can deliver that service, and they won't have to go off island as often.
Because we all know you get what you pay for.
Yeah, true. But at the same token, we're not just raising fees. We're actually doing all the other pieces that are necessary to build a successful healthcare system. We are looking at the competencies of the staff. We're upgrading our facilities. We're upgrading our equipment. We're increasing the capacity as far as the type of services we could provide. So again, it's not just a fact of in pursuit of more monies, but we're raising the standard. So when we move into the facility, we're looking at an accredited system.
And we're looking at healthcare provision on par with healthcare services provision around the world, certainly around the Caribbean region.
Yes. Yes, most definitely.
And the people can have confidence that when they come to People's Hospital or the new People's Hospital, that the quality of the care is going to be what they would expect if they went any place else in the world.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And not just in New People's Hospital, we're doing it in real time now. So the system overall, the BVI Health Services, is providing care on par to no other. That's our ultimate goal.
Okay. And I don't want to scare the people when I say the prices are going to go up, because part of the reason for the National Health Insurance Scheme is to facilitate that what is really not a increase in price, but actually value for money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because then we are going to be paying collectively for the improved service at the necessary cost, at the real cost, I should say.
Yeah, it is something we propose, and of course we are hoping that Cabinet can understand why it's necessary and do what is necessary to give us the increase that's needed. Sometimes these things get tied up politically because of different reasons, but someone has to take the leadership on it and do what's necessary in order for us to have the kind of healthcare system that we all can be proud of and feel confident that when we go to the hospital or a clinic in the BVI that we will be getting a first-class service.
Let's talk about some of the upgrades that has come to the system. And one such upgrade, of course, is the Health ID card and the Health Information System, which is, I don't know if we understand how major that is, but I'm sure you're going to explain to us. What you want to talk about first, the whole system itself or the ID card first?
Well, we can talk about the additional...
What the system will do, what the Health Information System will do for the service.
Okay.
It would actually revolutionize the healthcare services here in the BVI. One patient, one record. That alleviates a lot of wait time because your demographic information will populate in as you register for services or you're scheduled for an appointment. Less paper, which is another significant cost savings, which we can actually quantify in dollars and cents right now.
What's your saving? My oxygen.
What? Right. So more trees. Yes,
Yes,
more
yes.
trees will be remaining in the
ground,
territory. Yeah.
yes.
So, but I mean, but more so than anything, the fact that it kind of modernizes the system. The fact of the lab results will be filtered to the physician or the practitioner more swiftly. The same thing with the x-rays, all the standing orders, again, in real time, so we don't have the delays in that manner. The fact of even risk management, from a practical point of view, with also documentation, it kind of forces a practitioner to properly document the patient's manifestations or during their assessment, so you have like a standardized way of inputting the information. So it's there's a lot of benefits to the system.
So before, when you come into the hospital and you come to see a doctor, and then the doctor wants to see your records over the time of your visit to the hospital, and he has to send somewhere to get a file,
exactly.
And then it comes back to him, or it's late in the night, and the person who's in charge of the file is not there, so he can't get the file till the next day, and all that kind of stuff. You just go on the computer and put in your ID card, take your ID number, and all of your information pops up on the screen, wherever he is in the hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah, and then
Yes.
and the fact that the physicians actually have tablets, so they're not actually at a terminal or a desk.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so even at the bedside when they're doing their assessments, they can do enter the information.
Every healthcare provider in the hospital got their little.
Not everyone, but the
doctors and
physician,
nurses.
yes, the physicians
Yeah.
have the handheld tablets,
yes.
and the nurses have workstations. So again, we can't stress how critical this is.
Yes.
Looking at from a quality measure
Yes.
for healthcare. The fact of even looking at medications, our folks kind of forget what they on, how long it took it.
They don't bring the old people don't bring their medications
Yes.
with them. You
So
don't know what was
everything else-
prescribed before.
Yes,
Yeah.
all of that
Yes.
is already in the system. Your history, so you don't actually have to do like serious recall, the memory, everything is there. One thing that also comes up is the issue of confidentiality. Everyone doesn't have full access to your record. It's only based on a need-to-know basis. So there are tiers of security that's built into the system.
Certain levels, so the nurses need to know some things, doctors need to know some things, clerks need to know something.
Yes.
So for example, the person at the desk who's doing billing doesn't need to know anything else except the billing.
No.
Exactly.
No,
Right.
all they get is the diagnosis code and the reason for the visit, and for that, and everything else it populates for the bill. Right after the visit or at the point of discharge.
So when you coming out the hospital in your wheelchair, as you pass by the door, somebody handing you your bill.
Yeah. So we have gatekeepers. So we get you in.
We're not letting you out until the bill is paid.
Yeah, and of course we don't let you in unless we have all your information.
And of course, part of the information would be your health insurance card.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that large account receivable of $15 million that you've been talking about, we are hoping to get that over with that.
Yeah, we are hoping, one, to control it from growing anymore, and then we are still working on reducing the arrears. So, and overall, people who had complained in the past about not getting a bill for 2-3 years, that goes away. People complain about waiting long periods of time for lab or sitting. All of that goes away because when your information goes to the lab, no one has to walk it back to the doctor. It's populated right in the system.
Right in the system, right from the lab, right in the system.
Right into the
That's
system.
right. I used to have to walk the thing back from my father and back and forth to the hospital trying to get everything.
Yeah.
Yes, that's certainly going to be a tremendous improvement.
Yes.
And of course, another upgrade is a relationship with HEMA, another healthcare provider. Talk to us about how the BVI HSA relationship with HEMA as a health partner going to improve the quality as well.
Well, overall, we have our specialty clinics that, as a part of our service that we've expanded over the last year and a half. So with that in mind, we're expanding to specialty services or subspecialty services that we currently don't have. So we actually partner with them within the first phase. We're bringing over nephrologists. So we actually will strengthen up our renal clinics. So we actually have that kind of interaction with our dialysis patients every week, versus what were the conditions we had before with an outside vendor. We are also doing neurology, which is awesome for those persons who may be borderline strokes. We're actually going to strengthen up our telestroke unit and strengthen up our A&E for those manifesting with.
And when you say strengthen up, what that means in terms of service?
But the thing is, even though the specialist comes in from HEMA only once a week, we're actually going to partner them with existing physicians in our system, so that actually they will train up, so they can actually do initial assessments and everything else. So in the absence of them being not here from whether it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, someone within our current system would actually have the skill set to do the assessments. Again, that's a new knowledge, new power for our local physician pool.
It's virtually impossible for us to provide all of the health care that we may need, especially since you don't know when a specific or a specialty item is going to pop up, and it might pop up once in a while.
Right.
But when it pops up, you have access to that treatment someplace else, so that the BVI landers get immediate access.
Right. And kind of it's taking us to the new age of medicine. To me, the one thing I would like for us to start looking at is like telemedicine. Having a specialist at particular sites and just having the capability to interface with them over the television or over the computer, the laptop. So the physician specialist on that end could interact with our physician who's been trained up to do the initial assessment and baseline findings, and our folks don't have to travel at all.
We gotta take a break.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take a break. I like this. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors. Keep it locked right here to Spotlight.
Spotlight is brought to you by Bolo's High-Tech Printery, Virgin Island Motors, and Clarence Thomas Limited.
Did you know there's a drive-thru lumberyard in the BVI? That's right, the only drive-thru lumberyard in the territory. What does that mean? Well, for one thing, your lumber and plywood stayed nice, dry, and straight. No more curves. But not only that, there are experts on hand to help you with any and everything lumber. And there's also a pro store where you can get everything else to complement your purchases. Blocks, cement, molding, steel, windows, doors, galvalume, fencing, fasteners, tools, and that's just to name a few. Where is this place, you ask? Well, that's at CTL Lumberyard and Pro Store, of course. Visit us in Port Russell at the Old Sims location and see for yourself. Good lumber at the best prices. Now, you can't beat that. Telephone us at 284-494-2359 and ask for our lumberyard. CTL Lumberyard and Pro Store. The best products at the lowest prices, period.
Are you a U.S. citizen or a resident alien living in the BVI? Do you meet the requirements to file a U.S. income tax return with the Internal Revenue Service along with any applicable foreign bank, financial accounts, and statements of specified foreign financial assets? If you answered yes to the previous questions, you need M.A. Clark, CPA, LLC, to assist you in complying with filing your requirements as well as small business account services. Call us today for a free consultation. 284-494-0401 or contact us on the web. We look forward to working with you.
Serving the community for over 25 years, Tortola Concrete Limited is the leading producer of concrete products in the BVI. With grades of 3,000 to 5,000 PSI, Tortola Concrete ready mix quality unmatched in the industry, and we can mix to your specifications. Our aggregates are clean through our unique washing process for our smooth, clean mix, and our special chilling process makes our concrete crack resistant. Tortola Concrete Limited is the concrete company for all your quality concrete products. Gravel, road base, face stone, boulders, armor rock, coarse sand, terrace, and the cleanest, strongest, crack-resistant, ready-mix concrete. Tortola Concrete batch plan serve you Monday to Saturday, 7 a.m. until the last load. Our knowledgeable, effective staff gives you free estimate and delivers on time to any location. Contact Tortola Concrete at 494-3259, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Conveniently located in Parkwood Pond near the BVI electricity plant. At Tortola Concrete Limited, the strength is in the mix.
Life is like a mountain you must climb. Life is like a treasure you must find. A baby learning how to talk with just one step begins to walk. One step at a time will lead you to paradise. Your dreams are there to find. One step to paradise.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm having fun because this is exciting. It's exciting news. The upgrade of the Health Service Authority and the health services that we provided for the territory. We can see that we're going to be moving into the 21st century pretty soon. So it's good. I'm here with Pastor Klein, the chairman of the Health Service Authority, and Mrs. Darlene Cathy Baptiste, the Chief Executive Officer. And we're talking about the Health Service Authority's upgrades, quality upgrades, systems upgrades, and we want to talk a little bit about personnel upgrades. Yes, the people them in the hospital. When you come in the hospital, some of them don't smile and them don't ain't nice.
Yeah.
You know. And a lot of people complain. I mean, personally, I have some experiences, but my experiences have been good. And perhaps it's what you give off, you give back. You get back. You know, that could be part of it as well. But still, there's a level of professionalism. Even when I give out bad in the hospital, I'm supposed to get back good.
Yeah, all nurses are trained in something called bedside manners, and so, as a part of their training, is not only how to give an injection or deliver the medicine. You are actually, part of your training is in how do you deal with that patient, whatever their condition may be, because a lot of times the best medicine for someone is not the pill. It's someone who cares. Yeah. And I've met with a lot of the nurses and the staff over the time that I've been there. And one of the things that I try to impress upon them, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And it's going to show up in the way you treat them, by your smile, by your answer, by your attitude. And so we have embarked in a continual development and training of the staff in terms of how to handle difficult situations. If they find themselves in a place where they can't handle it, how to refer it up higher. But when we talk about improving standards, we recognize that is one of the areas that we greatly need to work on. We've already started the process. I know Ms. Baptiste can speak more about what we're doing in the kind of workshops and programs that we have put in place to enhance that project, Ms. Baptiste.
Yeah, I mean, part and parcel, one of the biggest pieces we're doing is the image enhancement workshops. That transcends the entire organization to change the mindset for a person that we're here to provide a service. Again, because we are a 24/7 facility, the thing is there may be a lot of other issues are going on. We do have some challenges with staff, but at the end of the day, we want to exceed the customer, the patient's expectations. And not just the patient, but the thing is the family. And I think a lot of it comes from us even training the family members. There are just certain times, especially within we're trying to be a more family-centered organization, doing visitors hours, even though they're wider, there's sometimes where the nurses need just to have some time with the patient. And we just have to have families to understand that the patient is first. They're the priority. We're not neglecting the family members, but again, it's important for us to address the needs of the patient and then again the confidentiality. So I think it's a hand-in-hand process where we train up the staff, giving them what they need, getting them empowered with the information enhancements and the communication piece, but at the same token, we need to be more communicative with the families also.
Consistency is a challenge though, because you get this training, and some days you just having a bad day because this is a stressful job. You know, this is a very stressful job, and you come into work and you have your family challenges and the stress, the job's related stress, and then you have the patient and their family. How do you get and can you? Is it too much for the client to expect that when we come into the Health Services Authority, when we come into the hospital or clinic, that no matter what, that the person providing the care is going to have a consistent demeanor?
Yeah, we haven't been consistent. I mean, you could just tell by the media outlets. You could tell by the complaints we get. You could tell by the compliments we get. We're not consistent overall, and that's what we're working towards, building into the system where, yes, we may have challenges personally, but how do we disconnect and provide the care to the patients in real time? And I think a lot of it is the coping mechanisms. We've done some motivational, we call it like a jump start. We started in January, so during each quarter we have a pool of individuals who go through some of the self-esteem, the self-worth, the de-stressors, how do you measure what's going on in your life so you can actually have that work-life balance. So we're working through the organization to help our employees to be better service oriented towards the patient.
And one of the things that I remember my last conversation with, who was I speaking to? Some of the nurses. And my real approach to them was, we care about you from a board standpoint, from an executive management standpoint. Know that we care about you. So we're not just here just concerned about what you do, but we also care about you. I say in ministry all the time, I'm more concerned with the minister than the ministry, because if I have a sick or if I have a distracted minister, then I will have a defective ministry. Same token, I believe, applies. If I have somehow a disgruntled doctor, a disgruntled nurse that is unhappy about whatever, their pay, their whatever, then that's going to eventually find itself trickling down to that patient. And so one of the things we try to do is to indeed build the morale of the people given the service, so that as much as we can address their needs, their concerns, make them understand we concern about them, so that they can do a better job. So it is this holistic approach throughout. You know, Cromwell, where we live, and the culture that has existed for so long. It's not just in the hospital, it's in our restaurants. I was telling
the whole service industry.
Yeah, I was in Just Van Dyke, and it was taking me like 2 hours to get food the holiday, the Monday before, and the lady said to me, "This ain't McDonald's." After 2 hours of waiting, I said, "Lady, don't go there with me. Please don't go there with me, because I could get very unpastorish, right? So I'm just asking when my food's gonna be ready that I'm paying for." So, you know, we patch it up and we went on. But there's this thing where, you know, people feel they just could tell you anything, and so we need to raise the standard, and we're trying to raise the standard.
And morale is really a serious issue, and it's always been a serious issue with the Health Service Authority, particularly when it comes to providing customer satisfaction. And you know, you still hear, you know, employees on very high levels, you know, talking about the board is this and the executive is that.
Yeah, you on the board, so you know.
You know, you get the top. You know, they come to you or they talk about you.
Yeah.
You know, and you have some real challenges in that area, and sometimes a lot of it has to do with not making enough money.
Yeah.
And these hard economic times, how are you going to deal with some of these issues?
I think, you know what I said to them the other day, I said, you know, I think we were speaking to the charge nurses.
Yes.
So we have these nurses now who are responsible for ensuring that we capture the necessary data that will translate into billing. And I'm saying we have to do this because at the end of the day, it will trickle down and it will be reflective in your pay. If we can't get more money to even buy pharmaceuticals, then we certainly can't get more money to give you raises, to offer you some kind of bonus or benefit or what have you. So it's critical that we fix all the pieces of this puzzle in order to make it work effectively, because we understand that money, at the end of the day, even though they love their profession and they love their jobs, they still want to be compensated adequately for that, and we recognize that.
Now we got a new building is being corrected, fixed, improved, reworked. I don't know all the things that's being done to it, because we've been hearing
everything we've been
hearing a lot about it, you know. But certainly a transition from where we are now to that building takes a lot.
Yes.
And if the building, and I don't know for sure, and I don't know how many years out the building is, you know, how long it's going to take to be ready, but certainly you must be prepared for transition now.
Absolutely.
Yes, what we do is we have end users meetings with the project management project management office. So we're actually looking at retrofitting, you know, the equipment. We've already completed the first phase of our staffing model, the clinical services or integrated services model. That is completed. So all those other pieces are falling in place. Right now, we're preparing a proposal to submit to the ministry to actually go in not as a full-fledged, open all doors, all beds occupied, ready to go, but actually do a phased-in approach. So again, given our economics, we don't want to overburden our system. And looking at our cash position right now, we want to be more realistic to make sure we are functional when we're in the facility.
So you're making a transition in the true sense of the word.
Yes.
You know, so it's a phase in. And you sometimes you're going to be going over, you're going to continue to go to the people's hospital as it is, but then in other instances you'll be going over to the new hospital, and more and more you'll be going over to the new hospital.
Or moving certain sections, like surgical or pediatrics or, stuff like that. That kind of phased approach.
So you have it all planned in. Now we follow at 3 o'clock because I have another segment coming up, and I just wanted to, I don't know what I missed, what I forgot to add. So this opportunity to talk about the things that I didn't talk about, because we have about 2 minutes remaining before our next guest.
Well, I mean, from my vantage point, I mean, I thank you so much for the invitation to come and to speak with your audience. We've really been going out and doing all the campaign, the PR portion, going out and speaking to the community and trying to get feedback to hear what the people are thinking, what their expectations are. Again, if folks don't voice them, then we don't have a clear path. For us, it's just a journey towards excellence. We know we have a lot to do in a short period of time, and we want to actually build into our framework a roadmap for success that includes listening to the concerns, even complaints, processing them and dealing with them in real time. And showing them who the persons are within the system to have connectivity with, so they actually have an ear or a body to speak with, and not just have this arbitrary, these complaints or issues that's illuminating and festering. So I mean, that's really an important portion to us. The fact that we're here, we're accessible, and we're really working hard. We have a wonderful leadership team, and the executive management is getting stronger. We're building up our management, and we have a great cadre of staff overall for the entire organization, and we just want to build upon it and look forward to the New People's Hospital.
Great.
Yeah, well,
what else can you say?
because I was going to say the same thing. People meet me all the time. They want to call, complain. We say to people all the time, document it or call our risk management number and let us lodge it, because in so you help us to address some of our weaknesses, some of the cavities in the system. And so we don't see complaints as a negative necessarily. We see it as a way of strengthening some places where we've fallen short. And if the public helps us, we continue to do, and we work hand in hand. We know that, and with the backing of the ministry, we have this great system that we can all be proud of in the next 3 to 5 years, that's where we want to be.
That's great. Well, Chairman Klein and CEO Baptiste, it's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
On Spotlight.
Thank you
We
so
had a
much.
great time.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Good to see you, my friend.
Yes, my brother. Yes, good to see you as well. Okay. Yes, we're going to take a break for one from our sponsors. We're going to come right back with the Director of Social Services of HSA, Health Service Authority, Mrs. Marion Turnbull. We're going to talk about Social Services Week and all of what's coming up, the activities coming up, as well as what social services are being offered by the Health Service Authority that we don't know about and certainly we need to know about. Keep it locked right at the Spotlight. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Stationary.
Spotlight is brought to you by Tortola Concrete Limited and CCT Global Communications.
We have more than 30,000 products to improve your home. We have low prices that are guaranteed. We have helpful people to assist you. You can order Corian or granite countertops, windows and doors, and floors. For the best products at the lowest prices, visit CTL, the one-stop building supply store that will save you time and money. The best, and always have been.
Are you a U.S. citizen or a resident alien living in the BVI? Do you meet the requirements to file a U.S. income tax return with the Internal Revenue Service along with any applicable foreign bank, financial accounts, and statements of specified foreign financial assets? If you answered yes to the previous questions, you need M.A. Clark, CPA, LLC, to assist you in complying with filing your requirements as well as small business account services. Call us today for a free consultation. 284-494-0401 or contact us on the web. We look forward to working with you.
The BVI boasts some of the most beautiful beaches found anywhere in the world. It's our clear blue waters and pearly white sands that make it an ideal location for snorkeling, scuba diving, swimming, and exploring. Many locals enjoy spending time with their family and friends, and our visitors marvel at our shores. Yet, too often, more and more beachgoers are becoming careless. They're leaving their garbage on our sands and shores. Dumping trash and neglecting our environment eventually pollutes our lands and seas. The British Virgin Islands is known for its beautiful beaches. If we continue to litter our shores and waters, we'll only destruct our environment and tourism product.
Our beaches are our pride and joy. If we don't pick up behind ourselves, trash and litter will ruin our oceans and sea. Help us keep it clean.
Do you dive for litter? Do you even care? We didn't think so. Dare to care. Your BVI needs you.
Choosing a college education is one of the most important decisions that you will ever make. A college degree or certification opens doors to greater opportunities that will improve the quality of life for you and your family. The greater the investment made in education, the greater the returns. I am Charlita Millington, Regulator of Investments and Securities Business, and a proud graduate of the H. Laverty Stout Community College. A leader in higher education which aids in the improvement of life, a vibrant economy, and nation building. Any educational institution is best judged by its graduates. And the H. Laverty Stout Community College is committed to the development of the human resources of these Virgin Islands and the region. Now, because of HLSCC, I am making a difference.
Remember, at HLSCC, your tomorrow begins today.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm here with Mrs. Marion Turnbull. She is the manager of Social Services in the Health Service Authority, and Ms. Ingrid Penn. She's
Acting Social Worker 1.
Acting Social Worker 1. What does that mean, Acting Social Worker 1?
I'm acting the post until further notice.
Until further notice. Great to have you both on Spotlight. This week, well, not this week, but Social Workers Week is coming up. When is that?
We're in Social Workers Month. Thank you, Carmel, for having us. Yes.
Okay.
March internationally celebrated as Social Workers Month. So therefore, we have chosen a week to highlight some stuff this week from the 17th to the 22nd. We're going to have a week of activities. We'll talk more about that as we talk about the team. Ingrid here will talk about what the team is for this month.
Our team this month is Resilience, Weaving, Advocacy.
Resilience, Weaving,
and Advocacy.
Resilience, Weaving, and Advocacy. So you're weaving resilience and advocacy together.
And
That's what that means?
Yes. On behalf of our clients.
Okay, cool. So what activities coming up for the between the 17th and the 22nd?
Okay, we have a church service at King Garden Bay Baptist Church, and then we have our opening of our dialysis program where we're going to be doing group sessions with the dialysis patients.
And that's going to be at 4 o'clock. This is going to be our first initial group with the dialysis patient, and you're looking forward to that.
Well, okay, I don't understand. What does that mean? You're having, what is actually, are you actually having with dialysis patients?
What we actually doing, we've been working with the dialysis patients on a one-on-one, so we thought it was important for them to come together as a group and plan activities. So our initial group is going to start on the 17th at 4 o'clock in the training room. So we're going to have all the dialysis patients come and express how they feel and talk about things that they won't get to talk about, when they're being treated, right?
But this is not for the public.
No,
this is a private
This
thing.
initial one is not for the public. It's just for the patients.
And this is a social work activity that helps them with some kind of psychological enhancement.
Psychosocial, yes.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay. So that's on the 7th. That's part of the opening of the week.
Of the social workers week.
Okay. And what else we have then?
And then we won't have anything on the Tuesday, which is the 18th, but we have an activity planned for Wednesday, and which is our open house, showing the community and the rest of the staff at Peebles Hospital what social services does at the hospital.
Yeah, so where is your house that you're going to be opening?
It's going to be right downstairs in the main lobby. And there's where we're going to start these activities.
So when then this is open to the public?
Yes, this is open to the public.
And what can we expect as a public coming to the open house for the social services department?
What you can expect? We're going to have a drive. This year we're taking a different route. 2011 we did questionnaires because it was our 20th anniversary. This year we're going to do a baby toddler drive for clothing and children clothes and toys and stuff.
Strollers.
Strollers, playpens, whatever you have that are in very good condition. We are asking you to bring it to us by Friday so that we can, go through the stuff and then set it all up. And in addition to that, we're going to be doing